So today we're going to do some activities. But first we need to go over some behavior expectations. You know, Miss Handel goes through and you guys sit on the rug about behavior. Okay, so the first thing is that I know I have all this fun stuff. We have whiteboards, we have stars, but first we need to go over some information, so I need everyone's attention up here when I'm going over some stuff. Does that make sense? Thumbs up? Okay, sounds good. So the things that we're going to be able to accomplish today is we're going to do some single-digit subtraction. You guys know what single-digit subtraction? We're going to be reviewing that. And then we're going to be doing some double-digit subtraction, which is a little bit harder, right? But we're going to work on some strategies to really understand double-digit subtraction, okay? So at the end, you guys are going to be able to create your own problems using the dice. We're going to be able to write our own problems, and we're going to focus on a method called the takeaway method, which is what we're going to be doing with the stars. Okay, so we're going to master single-digit subtraction, and we're going to master double-digit. Does that make sense? Okay. So here we have a little chart. What is this? What do we see? Ice cream. We all love ice cream, right? Okay. So we're going to learn what the scoop on subtraction is. So in the scoops, we have 3 different types of subtraction problems that we see a lot. Okay, so we're going to work on how to be able to identify the 3 different problems, right? Okay, so the first one, we have 64 minus 23. Can everyone see this okay? Okay, 64 minus 23. And we're going to see what it says right here. More on top, no need to stop. So what do we think that means? Because we have more on top. So 4 minus 3. More on top, no need to stop. Yes?
1.
Yeah, so 1. The 1's the right answer, but because it says more on top, no need to stop. Because we know that if we have more on top, we don't need to borrow from our neighbor, right? Because why do we need to borrow if we can just solve it? Does that make sense? We have enough on top to solve the number on the bottom, right? So let's do it all together. What is 4 minus 3? 1. Yeah, but because it's small group, we can just shout out. Okay, that's okay. Okay, and same thing over here. Do we have more on the top or the bottom? 6 minus 2.
4.
Yeah, 4 is the answer, but do we have more on the top or the bottom? Like, it's the number greater? Top. And what does this say? More on top, no need to stop, right? Okay, good. So 6 minus 2 would be 4, right? Think you guys that? Perfect. So the answer is 41. Great. Okay, we're moving on to our second scoop. This is exciting. Okay, so we have more on the floor, go next door. So we have 64 minus 28. So we have 4 minus 8. So what do we have to do if there's more on the floor and we have to go next door? What is that called? What do we?
have to knock on next door to go.
Yes, we have to regroup. That's perfect. That's exactly right.
10.
Yes, we have to borrow a 10, and we have to bring it where? To the ones place, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we have 4 minus 8, can someone tell me what my next step has to be?
2 crosses.
We have to cross out the 6, and what does the 6 become?
5.
5. Good job. And what would that 4 become?
14.
14, because we're adding that 10 to the ones place, right? Okay. So we're left with 14 minus 8. Can someone tell me what 14 minus 8 is? 6. Perfect. And what is 5 minus 2?
3.
3. So we're left with 36. You guys are doing a great job. I love that you're all paying attention and working really hard. Okay, we're on our final scoop. This one has sprinkles. This one is exciting. Okay, so we have digits the same, zeros the game. So the problem is 64 minus 24. So what do we think that means? If digits the same, zeros the game. What do we do with 4 minus 4? Yes. What is it? Mm-hmm.
It is 40.
Here, tell me just what 4 minus 4 is. We're gonna do it
0.
0, right? Because it wouldn't be anything different, it's just becoming 0. Here, can you guys take a seat, please? I know it's exciting. Okay, so 4 minus 4 equals 0, so that goes back to our poem. Digits the same, zeros the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When you have it, would just be like, we have 5 minus 5, it just becomes a 0. So if we have a 0 here, and we have 6 minus 2 there, what is 6 minus 2? Let's just shout it out. 4. Perfect.
We know it because it's up there.
Yes.
So the answer is 40.
Yes, the answer is 40.
Okay.
Alright, so I just have a quick question for you guys before we move into our next activity with the stars. This is exciting. I have a question. When do we regroup? Yes.
When it's minuses and
Mhm.
the one on top is too little for the one on the bottom.
Yep.
When there's one next to it.
Yeah.
And there's one.
Yeah, that's right. More on the floor. So let's go through our poem. Let's say it together, and then we'll wrap up this review, okay? So let's say it with me. More on top, no need to stop. More on the floor, go next door. Digits the same, zeros the game. That's perfect. Good job, guys. Okay. Does anyone have any? It's just in the cafeteria. You know they're cooking food for lunch. Yeah, it just makes noise. I think it's the oven. Okay.
So like it's done.
It's done. Okay. Yep. Okay. So does everyone understand like the 3 different types of subtraction problems we're dealing with? Does anyone have any questions about anything we just did on this? No? Okay.
I got the last one right.
You guys got all of them right. You're amazing. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do.
Shiny.
Yes. Can everyone see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So next we're going to work with our stars, okay?
Subtraction of stuff.
So subtraction of stars. We've worked with single digit subtraction, right? You guys have done it before. I've seen it, Miss Yandel doing some of it. Okay, so we're going to focus on a method called the takeaway method, okay? And have you guys ever drawn pictures to maybe solve subtraction or even addition, maybe draw it out? Yeah, so basically that's what we're going to be doing. But we're going to be doing it with these stars, but we're just going to be taking it away. I want it to be, we're actually taking it away and not just drawing it. So we're going to be doing the takeaway method. And the purpose is that we are visually seeing what we're taking away. We're going to be using the stars and taking away what we're subtracting. Does that make sense? Thumbs up? Perfect. Okay. So first I'm going to do an example, and then I'm going to hand you guys out the stars. And what I'm going to do is I have my whiteboard, and I'm going to go through and write down numbers, and you guys are going to model it, okay? So we're going to do the first one together. You guys are going to get your own and your own dry erase markers, and I have wipes for you guys to wipe down. Okay.
Wait, do we get to keep them?
You don't get to keep them, but if I come back and do more lessons and more activities, we'll probably use them again. Does that sound good? Okay. So our first example, you're just gonna talk this out with me.
-7.
Okay. But we're gonna do it like with all the steps that you guys are gonna be doing on your whiteboard. Does that make sense? Okay. So our first one is 12 minus 7. So how many stars do I start with? 12. Okay. And how many stars am I taking away? 7. So how many stars should I cross out here? 7. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cross them out.
1,
Count it out with me.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, so how many stars do I have left?
5.
Yes, that's perfect. Okay, so that's the taking away method. So do you guys see why this is effective? Because we're physically taking away those stars, right? Okay. Does anyone have any questions about the takeaway method?
No.
Okay. So you guys each get your whiteboard.
It looks like these stick together.
They kind of do, you're right.
Can we hold it like this? And
Make
then
sure.
it.
Yeah, so here's your bag of stars. And I know that some of these stars are different colors and they're different shapes, but they're all going to be the same for this activity, okay?
Shiny star.
We'll go through the first one together.
So we do our own math.
Here, now I have problems that I'm going to write on the board. So you know how I wrote 12 minus 7 up here? I'm going to write one up here, and you guys are going to take out. We don't really need the expo markers quite yet. So what we're going to do, here, I'll pass them out. Mostly just listen for 1 second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a problem. You know how I wrote the problem up here? 12 minus 7? I'm going to write some more up here, okay? So when I hold up the problem, so when I hold up the problem, you're going to get out that many stars. So if I wrote down 12 minus 7, you would get out how many of your stars from your bag? 12. Because then you're going to end up taking away. So at first, you always have the greatest number of stars, and then we're taking away. So don't do it on the whiteboard. Do it right here. And then what we're going to do after is you're going to write it out. So say if the problem was 12 minus 7, after you've done the sort and after you've taken away, you're going to take your white dry erase marker that I'm going to give you in a second, and you're going to write 12 minus 7 equals 5. So you're going to write whatever the problem is. But we're not doing 12 minus 7. We just did that one. Okay? So I'm going to hand you guys the markers, but know that we're doing the stars first, okay? And then the dry erase marker. So everyone gets a marker. Are they a little different? They're just normal. They're normal. Yeah, they're just like Sharpies, but they're dry erase markers. Yeah. Do you need help taking a look? Are you good? Can you take it off? Alright, so I'm going to give us the first problem.
I have Sharpies.
first one is 11 minus 3. So what do we do first? We're not writing anything yet. We're not writing anything yet. We're sorting. So go ahead and put the marker down. 11 minus 3. And we're just going to do a few because I know you guys know your single digit subtraction. What? I think it's just, it got a little stuck. Make sure you guys are separating what you have out and in these. So this is 11. Okay, so when you have 11, what are you going to do after that? Good job, Leah. Do you guys see where you're taking it away? And then you're going to write out the problem on your board like this with the correct answer. Yeah, you can write it however you want. This is just how I did it. But go ahead and write it like on how you would write it on a piece of paper if you were solving it for if you were taking a math quiz or something like that. How would you solve it? I'll write it the other way. So, yeah, I wrote it. It doesn't, it's okay. This one's pretty easy. Yep, and then just keep it to yourself until everyone's done. And then we'll move on to another one. That's okay. You just need to see it a little bit. That's perfect. Okay. Put it up to your chest until Cyrus is done. Thank you guys for working so hard. All right, let me see everyone's 8. That's perfect. It's great. Okay. We're going to move on to our next one. Ready? Oh yeah, sorry.
I raised mine.
Have some wipes.
My finger.
Let's go ahead and use this wipe. For your mirror? To clean your mirror?
I write on my mirror.
Oh, you do with a wipe.
Done.
Gotcha. Okay.
What do you bring?
Alright guys, ready? 8 minus 6. But do it with the stars first, like I said. Remember? We're going to do the takeaway method and then we're going to write it down.
8.
Good job. I love the way you guys are taking away the stars. So go ahead and write the problem out like you would set it up. So set it up the correct way, and then go ahead and solve it based off of how many stars you have left. Mm-hmm. The next one we're going to do, the first one is 2 digit.
3.
We just have one more after that.
No, we can do that.
Then we're going to move into double digit. This next one is, the first number is double digit. Alright, so everyone had 2. Good job. Alright, go ahead and clean off your board. Good job. Everyone's working really hard. I love that you guys are having good behavior and following all the rules.
Everybody's got them all right so far.
I know everyone's doing a great job. I'm so proud of you guys. Okay. So the next one, yes, you guys are very smart.
I know what that is.
Okay, ready? Yep. You guys can go ahead and write out the problem, but don't solve it, okay? Write out the problem and then do it with your stars.
I'll just take a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Did you do it with your stars? Good job.
And then I take either one.
Can you still see it? This is our last one. If you need another marker for the dice activity,
Mine barely works.
I know. Okay. It's okay. Alright, everyone ready to show? Alright, ready? 1, 2, 3, 5. Good job. You guys all got it right.
We got an A plus.
Okay.
Everybody got it right.
Good job.
What did they
Does anyone have any questions about single digit subtraction or what we did? Does everyone understand that that doesn't involve regrouping?
Yes.
Yeah? Is that clear to everyone?
The ice cream did.
The ice cream did because we were showing the 3 different types, right? Okay. So you guys did an amazing job. Can we go ahead and put the stars back in the baggies before we move on to our next activity so we can keep our workspace clean? You guys are doing a great job. I'm very, very impressed.
Do we need the pencil this time?
You're going to need your pencils at the very end, but not for this.
What do we do at the very end?
It's a secret. I'll tell you at the very end.
Okay, wait, are we having a dance party with pencils?
Not a dance party. I wish. Not a dance party today.
If we use dance parties with people, we could accidentally stack somebody.
Oh my goodness.
She said that she said too. Does it require math at the end?
Yeah, it does. It's basically to see. It's going to be a little exit ticket. I'll tell you, it's just an exit ticket, and it's like 4 problems, and it's just to see. It's kind of just a normal worksheet, and it's just to see what you learned during the activity. It's only 4 problems though, and then we get to go back to the classroom. Okay, it's not long. It's not a test or a quiz. It's just for fun.
I put the dice. I put dice. How's that a surprise? I put dice.
Good job. All right, I'm going to collect your stars. You guys did such a great job with that activity. I'm so impressed.
Yeah, mine too.
Okay.
Did you think that we wouldn't get them all right?
No, I knew you guys could do it. Okay. All right. So before I hand out the dice, here. It's okay. Here. Remember what I said though about not touching materials while I'm about to teach, right? So kind of everyone put their markers down. Everyone put the board down. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So now we're going to get into double digit. Okay. Double digit subtraction can be a little bit tricky because we have to make that decision in our head if we have to regroup or not regroup, right? You really have to look at the top and bottom number. Does anyone know a fancy term for the top and bottom number? Have you guys learned that? The numerator and the denominator? No? Those are 2 fancy words. You'll learn that later on, okay? But that's something just to keep up here. If you ever hear it, that's what people are talking about. The top and the bottom number. Okay, so this activity is going to be called double digit dice. So the focus is that we're going to be doing double digit subtraction with and without regrouping. So we have to look at the problem and make that decision in our head if we have to regroup or not. Okay? So we need to know when to borrow from the tens place and when not to. So this is kind of like the second scoop, right, from the first chart that I put up, the ice cream cone. Remember we had to regroup on that one problem?
The one you have to regroup because you can't do 4 minutes 9.
Yeah, we're going to get to that in 1 second, okay? But good job. I appreciate you looking at that. So we need to know when to borrow from the tens place and when not to. So we're going to look at this example problem. We're going to do it together. Let me get my red one.
That example one has regrouping.
Yeah, but we're going to do it together right now, okay? So we know how to regroup. But I appreciate you looking at that. That's awesome. Okay, so this problem here says 54 minus 39. So what did we learn? If there's more on the floor?
Move next door.
Yep. So is 4 bigger than 9?
Yes. No.
4 is bigger than 9? No, right? We know that 9 is greater than 4. So what does that mean for us? What do we have to do?
Knock next door.
We have to knock next door, right? Okay, so if we have to knock next door to the tens place, what's in the tens place right now?
5.
A 5. So what does that 5 become?
4.
And what does this 4 become?
42.
A 14. Because why? What did we just do?
We added a 10.
we're borrowing a 10 from our neighbor, right? And that 10 goes over here. So they lost a 10 and the ones place gained it because they needed it a little bit more, right?
Does that mean that you gained?
No, it doesn't mean that. It just means that they just needed some extra help. Okay. Does anyone have any questions about the step we just did? No? Okay. So what is 14 minus 9? Leah? 5. Good. And what's 4 minus 3? 1. So what's our final answer here? 15.
We can't do that one because we are.
Yep, we're going to be doing our, you guys are going to be creating your own problems. Okay, so I'm going to get into this activity, okay? Can you go ahead and erase the dice because we're going to need the whiteboard? So what we're going to be doing is everyone is going to be getting, have eyes up here? Everyone is going to be getting 2 dice, okay? We're going to just, I'm going to do an example one, okay? You're going to roll the 2 dice. So I have a 6 and I have a 3. So my first number, because I rolled those 2 numbers, would be 63. And then I'm going to roll it again. And I got 46.
And then you have to.
You're one step ahead of me. You're one step ahead of me. All right. So the first thing I did, what did I do? I wrote out the problem, right? So how many times did I roll the dice?
2.
Because I had to get how many numbers? 2. Okay. So you guys don't have to do this one. I'm just showing it for you guys. Okay. So you understand the activity. But thank you for working hard. So what do I have here? I have 63 minus 46. So do I have to regroup here or am I not regrouping? Regroup. So what would I do? Knock next door. So what does this 6 become?
5.
A 5. Because we're borrowing, we're getting rid of a 10. Because what place needs it?
3.
3. And that's what place is that? The 10s are the 1s. Who are we giving it to? The 1s?
And then it turns into
13. And what is 13 minus 6? Yes.
6.
6. Or, no, it's not 6.
8.
Try again. Let's think it out. 13 minus 6.
7.
Yes, 7. And what's 5 minus 4? 5 minus 4.
Oh.
Yes, so our answer is 17. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So everyone is going to get 2 dice. Does everyone understand the activity? Perfect. And we just need a little roll so they're not going all over the floor. You know, we don't want to lose any dice.
4 and 2. Hey, I wrote 7 here.
Cool.
That was funny because I put it up here on the desk.
That is funny.
I got the number that I did it here.
That's fine. We're gonna do 4. We're gonna do 4 problems. Okay.
What if we could roll our answer?
That's not
mine. You won't get the answer.
Yeah, it's all minus. Okay.
You won't get the answer. I did it. Mine did it. Oh.
Nice. Good job. So you have 1. Go ahead and do another.
39.
Let me see. That is perfect. I love how you
I
regrouped.
have regrouping.
That's perfect. I love that you guys are being able to identify when you need to regroup and when you don't need to. Good job. That's funny you got this. Okay, so everyone's on to their second one.
Yep.
You guys are doing an awesome job. Here,
That's well.
and sometimes if you roll, you might get a bigger number, your second roll, and you know the bigger number always has to go on top, so you might have to rewrite it. Let me see. 53 minus 3. That's like, what scoop was that we did on the chart? That was the last scoop, wasn't it? About it being 0?
But it was 4. But it was 4.
Yeah, instead of 2. But Hannah had kind of the same right here. So that's 3 minus 3. Yes, you're doing awesome.
I've got all the ones on the sides. I've got 3.
Good job. Okay, so are you on your third one? We're doing 4. Everyone's doing 4.
It's funny because I did 10 and then
No, you can pick. So you can do 51.
It's 10 to 15. 29.
Good job. That's excellent regrouping, Emma. Do you guys like writing on the whiteboards? Does that help? Help a lot?
I got the same number. It's 0.
Good job. That's good. I mean, it's good math.
It's easy.
Okay, so are you on your last one? What number are you on? 3? Perfect. We about to do 4?
4.
Okay. If they're still working, you can do some extra ones.
It was funny because I got the same number twice.
That is funny. You're so awesome at that.
This one goes on top.
Yeah, the 50. Good job. Go ahead and do one more while Leah and Emma are finishing up. You guys are doing an awesome job. It's okay, you can roll again. Oh, it was 45, 51 was here.
So 3 minus.
I think we just had to rewrite the problem. 53 had to go on top. Remember the bigger top?
My
Number goes
answer
on
is
top.
6.
6. Good job. That looks great. Remember what I just said about having to write the big number on top? So maybe rewrite and put the 61 and then minus the 15. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's not number. So you need to rewrite it.
I've got
61 minus 15.
10.
You're going to get a negative number. We don't want that, right?
And then 1 minus 1.
Good. Your two numbers were 61 and 15, so put the 61
That's
on
funny,
top
but
and then the 15 on top.
I just had to erase the 1. 16.
You guys are doing a great job.
The answer's 3.
Perfect, and that was your 4th. Okay, go ahead and erase, and then I'll take your dice.
This is my
It's your 3rd. Just keep working. You're doing a
This
great
will
job.
be the same if I even do it.
Okay, go ahead.
Can I draw?
Sure, for a little bit until the video's done.
14. Got it.
Good job. Awesome.
I've done 6 of them. And one of them I got 0.
I'm going to go ahead and take these. You can just do them for a second while we finish it up, and then we're going to do our worksheet, and then we're going to head back to the classroom. It's just a quick little worksheet just for me to see. You want to do more? Did you like working with the stars? Me too. The stars are fun.
I like
Oh, Larry, you're done too? Okay. All right, let's go ahead and wipe down our boards.
I'm drawing a flower.
You guys do great. Go ahead and wipe down our boards, please.
A big flower.
Thank you guys for cleaning up and for working so hard on those problems.
We have to. Can we do?
If you just want to make a little stack right here, I'll throw them away on our way out, okay? There you go. Thank you. I'll take it.
Let the lost one down.
Okay.
Oh, so that's the lost one.
So the next thing we're going to do is just have a little discussion. Here.
No.
It's okay. Hey, eyes up here, eyes up here. So when did we know when to regroup and when not to regroup?
When the one is smaller on top, and then the one is bigger on the bottom.
That's okay. When the bottom,
It's bigger than the one on top.
yes, exactly. So then just tell me one more time so we really have it up here. How do we regroup?
If the
we have to do what? We have to borrow from who? The 10. That's right.
Mr. 5.
Okay.
That's to borrow from Mr. 5.
That's perfect. Okay. Can someone tell me one thing they learned? Did anyone learn anything? Yes, Leah?
About the stars.
About the stars, about sort of like the takeaway method, how we can separate and we can create like a visual, so we're like actually seeing the subtraction. Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
That you can make it, if you can't do the number, you put the base number on top and then you put the smaller number.
Yep, you can use anything. You can use little
Like
squares.
or erasers.
Yep.
Like the little green things that I
Yeah,
have.
that's perfect.
Like you could use Hershey Kisses and the ones that you take away.
Yep, that's perfect. That's a really good example. Okay. So do you guys have any other comments about the activities? Anything you've learned? Anything you still don't understand? No? Okay. So I have 4 more problems and then we're going to go back to the classroom, okay? Okay. It's just 4 problems. That's it. I'm going to take them. So remember how I'm learning to be a teacher? You know, it kind of helps me. Yep, you're teaching me. That's right. I think we're teaching each other. How about we say that?
I did it. That's something that we did.
That's right. You guys are helping me be a better teacher. If you guys have any questions with this, let me know. Some of them are regrouping, some of them aren't regrouping. So,
Oh, this one is.
remember, because what's our purpose? We need to be able to identify when
They're
to.
not tiny. I think they're tiny.
You can if you need to. Sorry, I should have put more space there. Do you guys want me to leave this up to help you? No? Okay.
14 is 7. Isn't it 14 minus 8, 7?
Just do your very best so I can see you, okay? You can even draw a picture if you need to. Remember that method we just used?
9.
The takeaway?
Minus 1 is 2.
You done? I did.
By yourself?
Uh-huh. That looks great, Mia. Excellent job. Did you have fun? You like working with the stars and the whiteboards? Mm-hmm. You guys were so well behaved.
What?
We don't want to talk about our classmates. You know? I can't let you go to the book fair. We have to go to the classroom.
Yeah, because on Thursday we said that there would be.
Good job. Here, Emma, you have 2 more problems left. Okay, girl. Finish strong.
I do that. So are you going to take these? You can write our own problems.
Sure, while we wait.
What is that?
Now, let me go ahead and take these.
I need 6 plus 6 is 0.
Good job.
Do you have other people?
Just you guys for today. You like it? All right. You guys did an excellent job. Thank you so much for working hard. Good behavior. Yeah, we're all going to go back together. It's right here. Sorry, girl. Let me grab my computer.